Throughout his career, he had many critics and admirers. One thing he did do was always tell his story as he saw it. Cosell was born Howard William Cohen on March 25, 1918, in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. While he was a small boy, his parents moved their family to New York City. Growing up, Cosell excelled in school and eventually attended NYU. In college, Cosell changed his name from Cohen to be closer to his family's Polish name. It was said Cosell was one of the brighter students at NYU. After finishing his undergraduate studies, Cosell remained at NYU to study law. Out of college, Cosell took a job at a successful law firm. When the United States joined World War II, Cosell enlisted in the Army. After serving in the Army, Cosell went back to being a lawyer and began his own law firm. For 8 years, he practiced law and represented many celebrities and athletes. One of his most famous clients was baseball player Willie Mays. While practicing law, Cosell also began working for the Little League of New York City. In 1953, Cosell was asked by an ABC radio show to line up Little Leaguers to ask questions to Major Leaguers. Cosell was fond of the idea. This led to him being the show's unpaid host. He played an important role in inquiring star players and making sure they were asked the right questions. With the support of his wife, Cosell decided to give up practicing law and work full-time for ABC. This decision would be the start to his legacy. His success as the unpaid host of the ABC radio show was influential to him getting another ABC job. In 1956, he signed a 6-week contract to do a 5-minute weekend radio broadcast for the network. The decision would be the start to his long and formidable career with ABC as a sports broadcaster. Before Cosell came along, sportscasting was considered to be rip and read. In other words, sportscasters simply read statistics and facts straight from a wire service. But that wasn't Cosell's style. He was determined to provide commentary and in-depth coverage. Cosell regularly taped interviews on location. Since the cassette recorders weren't available at the time, Cosell used a third-party recorder that he carried on his back. Sports Illustrated writer Myron Cope said Cosell brought a determined behavior which was rare. Cosell was quickly making a name for himself. After only 1 year with ABC, Cosell began appearing on the televised evening commentary program called Sports Focus. Soon after, in 1961, Cosell became the evening sports reporter for New York's WABC-TV. The network recognized Cosell's talent and asked him to announce boxing for their show Wide World of Sports. Cosell's presence in boxing would soon vault him into a very controversial figure. Cosell came to boxing, some of the sports greats were in their prime. None more so than Muhammad Ali. Ali's passionate and boastful personality caused people to either love or hate him. People felt the same for Cosell. The two quickly formed a friendship. Cosell's most famous and controversial interviews were with Ali. With the country going through a variety of conflicts such as civil rights movement and Vietnam War, Americans had many different views. One of Cosell's most controversial moments was when he acknowledged the heavyweight champion by his new name, Muhammad Ali. He was the first sportscaster to do so. Originally known as Cassius Clay, Ali changed his name for religious beliefs, and some couldn't understand. When the war began, the U.S. declared the draft. Due to religious beliefs, Ali said he would not sign up and thus was stripped of his championship. Cosell was extremely irate and publicly defended Ali and thus caused much controversy. Cosell stated, "What the government did to this man was inhumane and illegal under the 5th and 14th Amendment." He also stated, "Nobody says a damn word about the professional football players who dodged the draft, but Muhammad was different. He was black and he was boastful." Not worried about controversy, Cosell stuck to his views and wasn't afraid to tell the public. Cosell wanted to show the world that the issues of society were also found in the world of sports. Cosell aimed to diminish the idea that sports was somehow different from the issues occurring in society. ABC radio sports director Shelby Whitfield told People magazine, "When Howard came on the scene, no one criticized referees or coaches or players or anybody, but he was a lawyer, and that went to the core of everything." Cosell's controversy didn't end there. He spoke on behalf of Tommy Smith and John Carlos after they were sent home for their Black Salute protest at the '68 Olympics. Smith said, "Cosell asked me questions that gave a young athlete like myself enough space to say what I felt." In 1969, Cosell was chosen to be one of the 3-man broadcasting crew for ABC's Monday Night Football. He was partnered with Frank Gifford and Don Meredith, both former athletes. During his time, Cosell revolutionized sportscasting into a form of entertainment. His broadcasting style drew many critics and fans, but was the first step in making the show one of the most watched shows in primetime history. Cosell transformed sports broadcasting from play-by-play calls to entertainment. He wasn't afraid of discussing issues on air and kept true to his reporting mindset. One of his most famous moments was when he broke the news about the murder of John Lennon.
But it's suddenly been placed in total perspective for us. I'll finish this. They're in the hurry-up offense.
3rd down 4. Foreman. It'll be 4th down. Kavanaugh will let it run down for one final attempt. He'll let the seconds tick off to give Miami no opportunity whatsoever. Timeout is called. 3 seconds remaining. John Smith is on the line, and I don't care what's on the line, Howard. You have got to say what we know in the booth.
Yes, we have to say it. Remember, this is just a football game, no matter who wins or loses. An unspeakable tragedy confirmed to us by ABC News in New York City. John Lennon, outside of his apartment building on the west side of New York City, the most famous perhaps of all of the Beatles, shot twice in the back, rushed to Roosevelt Hospital, dead on arrival. Hard to go back to the game after that news flash, which in duty bound we had to take. Frank?
Indeed it is. 3 seconds remain. John Smith.
Off the hands of Rose, the tight end. Alertly, Nat Moore got the touchdown. They blocked the field goal attempt of John Smith. Now they battle in overtime. Delvin Williams. Delvin Williams taken quickly there. It was number 85, Julius Adams.
Gain of a yard. It'll be 3rd and 7.
In case the folks missed the earlier news flash, ABC News has confirmed that John Lennon, a member of the famed Beatles, maybe the best known member, was shot twice in the back outside of his apartment building in the west side of New York tonight, rushed to the Roosevelt Hospital, dead on arrival. An unspeakable tragedy. Details on Nightline 30 minutes after the end of this contest.
Tony Nathan, single setback. 3rd down 7. Woodley fires a strike. Elmer Bailey, and that is 11 out of the last 12 passes that Woodley.
After 14 years, Cosell left Monday Night Football. He would continue in the sports broadcasting world, but his peak of fame was behind him. Due to his nature and style, Americans either loved or hated Cosell. But opinions aside, Cosell was a trendsetter for future sports broadcasters. Looking at his career, Cosell was a pioneer for the world of sports broadcasting. His methods of asking tough questions and giving athletes a voice set the bar for sports reporting as we know it. Critics say he was too opinionated, but Cosell spoke to what he was feeling and never wavered. Cosell's career spanned over 30 years. The world of broadcasting lost a legend when he died on April 25, 1995, at the age of 77. No matter what your opinion on him may be, he will always be known as an iconic figure in broadcasting and will forever be known for his infamous toupee and yellow blazer.